What up? It's Jack, aka Just a Cut here, and today I wanted to talk about Ilia Topuria and why he is already one of the GOATs, one of the top 10 fighters of all time. I think you could even make an argument for top 5, but that's not necessarily why I'm here. I just want to prove as to why, simply by virtue of how high level his wins are and the performances associated with him, that he already has a better resume than who many people would put into their top 5s. I hope you don't take away from this video that Ilia is, the GOAT, he's top 2, he's top 3, he's top 5, he's top 10. Not necessarily. Simply, I just want to compare his level of wins, talk about modern UFC compared to the past, and why, simply put, Ilia, you can have, depending on what your GOAT criteria, you can include things like longevity, title defenses, stuff like that. But in terms of simply a high-level elite wins, Ilia Topuria is already one of the top 10, if not one of the top 5 greatest fighters of all time, starting off with Jon Jones. Now, I am not here to say that Ilia is greater than Jon Jones all time. That's not what I'm here to say. I'm going to go through who is probably a lot of people's top 5 of all time and simply compare their top best wins. So specifically with Ilia, his being Charles Olivera, Max Holloway, Volkanovski, Josh Emmett, and Bryce Mitchell. So looking at Jon Jones, and I hope y'all appreciate the graphic here. If y'all know who the man is with the flashlight, obviously not Jon Jones, but who that figure is, shout out to you. Anyway, looking at Jon Jones' top 4 best wins, these wins, I tried to spread them out among his career in terms of all around West wins. You can have different arguments to whether or not they are his best wins. For example, Stipe was quite old, who's on this list, and Glover Teixeira, you may say, was out of his prime, depending on what you think of Glover. But overall, this is, in general, I would say a fair top 4. If you have a different ones you want to compare and contrast, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. But anyway, looking at Jones' best wins, to me, it is clearly Daniel Cormier. Now, me personally, I have Daniel Cormier above Stipe all time. I know Stipe beat him 2 out of 3 times, but in my opinion, they weren't the best versions of DC. DC is still undersized. He is still someone that struggles with bigger heavyweights, and I think those fights would be much more competitive if you took a younger DC, if you took a Strikeforce, early UFC, and brought him up. I think he could beat Stipe most of the time. But comparing, how does Daniel Cormier compare to Ilia's best one, who in my opinion is Alexander Volkanovski? I think, hot take, Volkanovski is a better win than Daniel Cormier. Now, I know some people are gonna flip tables, L rage bait, L video. If you put Daniel Cormier in a room with Volkanovski, only one man walks out. I've heard it before. But at the end of the day, looking at who DC beat, I will give him credit. He did accomplish the double champ status. He did beat Stipe for a second belt. That's something that Volkanovski couldn't do. But a pet peeve of mine personally is that people will only view things under the category of getting a belt or not. I'll go into this later, specifically with Anderson Silva, Daniel Cormier, or Demetrius Johnson later on. Spoiler. But in general, I think that Volkanovski is at least the same level of win, if not a higher level win. Having wins over Max Holloway, Brian Ortega, Korean Zombie, Yair Rodriguez, getting knocked out twice, coming back, beating Lopez, 3 generations of fighters. I think Volkanovski is at that same level, if not higher. Now, Stipe Miocic. Max Holloway, all time, has way better wins, better longevity. He has more wins, better performances. Stipe, in my opinion, will probably be the greatest heavyweight of all time. I think he is almost like he's almost like a shoe-in for that, particularly because while yes, he's probably the best of all time, he has a lot of the problem with heavyweight, right, is there's a lot of name value that people get. For example, Fabricio Verdum. But I feel like even now, heavyweights just aren't the same level of competition as guys now. Guys will go into their 38, 39 and will barely, like will be fat as fuck, out of shape, be like 10 years out of their prime, but they get that name, so Stipe just absorbs all the legacy. Alistair Overeem was not the same Overeem, but Mauricio Verdum, probably similar, but still not an elite heavyweight nowadays. He literally he literally had a Juliana Pena game plan. I'm sorry, Yair Rodriguez does not do that. I'm sorry, just doesn't happen. Just not happening. Max Holloway is a better win than Stipe. Max Holloway has better wins. He has Jose Aldo on his legacy. He has modern day wins, multiple divisions, went up to lightweight, knocked out Justin Gaethje, dominated him. It's a better win, through and through. Alexander Gustafsson. Charles Olivera. Now say what you want about Olivera recently. People probably look at Charles. Charles out of his prime, bro. Charles, this is not prime Charles, bro. Prime Charles was when he beat Justin Gaethje, which I don't necessarily disagree that maybe Charles wasn't as absolute best, but people will say that on one hand, and then will talk to me about Stipe Miocic being Alistair Overeem, Fabricio Verdum, DC, people like this who were beaten multiple times, finished multiple times, who had a whole career of damage besides maybe Daniel Cormier. He was still getting kicked in the head and still losing, and still 38, 39. Basically, I think he might have been in his 40s when he fought him in his third fight. I have to double check that. But nonetheless, it is not comparable whatsoever. Sorry about that. My dog saw some air outside and had to make me aware. Nonetheless, moving on. Charles Olivera. Better win than Alexander Gustafsson, got the belt, defended against elite competition in impressive fashion. Now, Glover Teixeira is kind of the one man out. I put him on here just because he went on to do great things and to prove how great he was. Now, in terms of how you want to value people like Jan Blachowicz, in terms of Jan Blachowicz, Thiago Santos, Anthony Smith, being competitive with Yuri Prohaska, you can put other guys on here like Shogun, you can put Lyoto Machida, you can put Rampage Jackson. In my opinion though, those guys were past their prime. They weren't in Pride era. They also weren't good. They weren't well-rounded. I'm sorry, look at someone like Dustin Poirier defending multiple takedowns from Islam Makhachev. I guarantee if you size up Islam, you fucking put him in the crop tool and take him by the corner, you just make him bigger, make him like 6'4". He does the exact same things that Jones did, if not way worse, way easier. Way better than all these wins. John Jones, now you could have a separate discussion about John Jones in terms of his longevity, how many title defenses it has, how, different generations of fighters, this, that, and the third. But let's not act like Ilia's wins aren't at least the same, if not just simply better. Anyway, moving on. George St. Pierre. I hate to say this, but George might be on fraud watch because, does GSP have any all-time wins? Is his best win Matt Hughes? Because when I think about it, who has George beat? He has very impressive. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that GSP isn't top 3, isn't top 5, isn't arguably the GOAT. But what I am saying, his wins just can't compare. I've made videos about BJ Penn. I think he's ass. I think he sucks. I think if you put Joel Alvarez in that era, he becomes the all-time GOAT, period. People will write fucking bedtime stories about Joel Alvarez hiding under their bed, fucking standing guillotine in every lightweight and then moving up to welter, being a 3-division champ if you put him back in the day, all right? Nonetheless, Matt Hughes, all-time great. I would say a top 5 welterweight, depending on how you think he stacks up to, Usman, obviously GSP, Tyron Woodley, a couple other guys you can throw into there, depending on how you view it. But all these guys, what I've noticed is this is what I like to call the lightweight fallacy. A lot of people will build their legacies off beating each other, right? So Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Charles Olivera, Conor, all these guys, a lot of their times their best wins are each other. Charles' best win, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje's best win, Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier's best win, Justin Gaethje, Conor. You know what I mean? They all build it off each other. So GSP beat Matt Hughes beat GSP, so that's his best win. GSP beat Matt Hughes, that's his best win. BJ Penn beat Matt Hughes, so that's his best win. GSP beat, you know what I mean? It's just this endless cycle. And I don't think I need to go into much detail. I don't know how many people are going to look me dead in the fucking eye. That Matt Hughes is better than Alexander the Great Volkanovski. If you say that, just click off. Just turn off the video. It's not for you. All right? Get a Bud Light. Go look at some Brock Lesnar highlights, all right, and go have fun, all right, because it's not the video for you. Nick Diaz. I love Nick Diaz. But that brother is not well-rounded enough. He does not have wrestling. He's not on the same skill set of guys like Volkanovski, guys like Max Holloway. Max Holloway is simply a better version of Nick Diaz. He is simply a championship level of Nick Diaz. I love Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz is a great fighter. I hope he's doing well. It's sad when I hear stories about him. But he's just not Max Holloway. Looking at all these, arguably, these... Hot take, I think Josh Emmett knocks out BJ Penn. I think that motherfucker can move up to lightweight and flatline KO him in one fucking round. Bryce Mitchell, okay, maybe not Bryce Mitchell, but nonetheless, and Michael Bisping. He's just a worse Olivera. He is a worse loser that lost a bunch coming up, didn't really seem like a contender, went up, won the belt, beat a great champion, you know, in an impressive fashion. Charles did it in a vacancy, hit against Luke Rockhold, great win. But at the end of the day, bro, none of these guys are on the same level. Anyway, I don't want to go on a tangent too long. Same thing, I'm not saying Ilia is better than GSP all time. I'm just simply saying he has better wins. And if you, depend on how you value all-time wins and skill set and dominance, you know, I've never seen Ilia Topuria get fucking armbarred with a second left to go. All I'm saying, never seen that happen. Moving on. Anderson Silva. I was literally thinking about this video and I was like, Anderson Silva, who'd he beat? Who's this, like, does he have any top 5 middleweight wins? Like, if you look at the top 5 middleweight all time, you got Silva, Israel Adesanya, Robert Whittaker, Dricus du Plessis, Chael Sonnen. Like, no, clearly not. He has no great wins. Forrest Griffin went up there dominating, very impressive. Considering the context of it, well, maybe he's not the best opponent, going up a division, middle of your career, and his older thing, when he's older in his career, doing that, very impressive. One of the greatest performances of all time. I'm not going to hold him against him. But he's not doing that against Volkanovski. He's not doing that against, maybe he does against Josh, he probably does against Josh Emmett, maybe he could check Charles Olivera, you know, stuff like that. But in terms of Forrest Griffin, he doesn't beat any of those guys if we, you know, go, you know, as a fighter who's a better fighter. It's not up there. Vitor Belfort off the sauce. That man was literally mashed potatoes in there. That man was fighting an appetizer. I would be disappointed if he didn't. Bryce Mitchell flatline KOs him as well. Vitor Belfort was not prime Vitor, and even then, Vitor's not a great striker. He's not the technical. He relied on physicality, he relied on power, relied on explosive ability. Decent jiu-jitsu, almost armbarred John Jones, but not on the level, that have the same legacy as these guys. I was grasping for straws. Literally, like, none of these guys are good. Chael Sonnen doesn't have elite striking. He's slow, he's stiff. Like, the fact that I had to, the only way Anderson Silva even has 4 people on his podium is I have to act like he beat Chael Sonnen. Do you understand how crazy that is? That I have to come up here and lie to you and act like he beat Chael Sonnen and say bad things about the man? Do you understand how desperate I am? It's just simply not there. And this is going to go to another pet peeve of mine. A lot of these people will talk about Anderson Silva's win streak, his title defenses. He has a bunch of title defenses, double-digit title defenses, like 10 and 11 title defenses, 16-fight win streak. The win streak, very impressive. But they get the belt in their first or second fight. Volkanovski was riding one of the craziest win streaks of all time. If he got the belt on Darren fucking Elkins, that brother would have 20 title defenses and not lose until he fought Islam. Don't get me started on the next motherfucker on this list, because I'm going to go fucking in. And I love all these guys, besides John Jones. Fuck him, dumb fuck. Bozo, rip, anyway. But he gets it early in his career against, Chris Lieben? That motherfucker, I've seen people at the bar I used to work at fight better than him, bro. Do not come up here and be like, bro, Chris Lieben, bro, he's an elite win. What do you mean? Where's Chris Lieben? I don't even remember if that's that motherfucker's name, bro. I do not care. As Anderson couldn't wrestle, and you see that by getting control and taking about Chael Sonnen, who wasn't able to do that against elite competition, struggled a lot of losses. At the end of the day, Anderson Silva, well, yes, he wasn't necessarily in his prime by the end of his career. I'm not going to hold a lot of his losses next to him. I think you can make a good argument that Ilia is simply better than him, not because he has more title defense, not because he has a crazy win streak, which he does have a crazy win streak, to be fair. Not because of any of that, but simply because Anderson cannot compare wins. He just simply can't. Moving on. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. You know what? I'm not control this preface. People want to come in here and want to gaslight me into this. Demetrius Johnson has terrible wins. Terrible wins. He has one good win against Henry Cejudo out of his prime and an arguable robbery against Henry Cejudo, whose legacy himself has not aged that well. Demetrius Johnson, when you get your belt in your first 2 or 3 fights against when the elite of the elite, when the only evidence you can point to prove me wrong is that Joseph Benavidez, who couldn't hold Alejandro Pantoja's, Davison Figueiredo's, Brandon Moreno, Steve Ert, he couldn't hold their fucking cup, bro. John Dodson, you're gonna look me dead in the fucking eye and be like, bro, Demetrius Johnson, so Ilia Topuria beat Max Holloway. So he beat Alexander Volkanovski. Charles Olivera. Flatline KO'd all of them. And you're gonna look me dead in the eye and be like, bro, he almost got knocked out by John Dodson and came back and won, bro, what are we talking about here? Charles Olivera got like, Charles Olivera sucks. He was out of his prime, bro. Max Holloway had to cut weight, bro. As if he doesn't already do that. As if he wasn't coming off one of the greatest performances, arguably the greatest of his career, one of the greatest wins of his career, especially in recent memory. He comes back with a size advantage, cuts down, looks great. He looked great in that fight. He didn't look like shit. People love to do this thing where they'll be like, bro, wait. No. He was out of his prime, bro, because he wasn't literally coming off a win. Just because he literally wasn't winning, because he didn't win the fight. That's why he was out of his prime. That's the only reason why. I get it. Volkanovski come back. People act like everyone just catches Volkanovski. Like, that strike that he landed on him, that Volkanovski wouldn't be KO'd like that before. People, like, out here show, like, Volkanovski fought scared. It's Ilia Topuria. You think if he went in there guns a-blazing, like he did against Chad Minute, where he got dropped, by the way, he gets flatlined off that. Volkanovski fought so good in that fight. People will not look at the first round, 2 round and a bit, and realize how good Volkanovski fought and just say he's out of his prime and just dismiss it. And then we'll look at me and be like, Demetrius Johnson beat Henry Cejudo when he was a little fucking kid. He beat Jit Henry Cejudo. What are we talking about here? I love Demetrius Johnson. I think his Adriano Moraes wins are impressive because he was older, he came off a loss, new promotion, very big size disadvantage, very good performance. But his wins, a lot of these wins, John Dodson, Joseph Benavidez, Adriano Moraes, I think if we look error for error, skill for skill, Josh Emmett probably is better than a lot of these guys. He just is. John Dodson is just a shittier Josh Emmett. He just is. Henry Cejudo, great win. You can say what you want about Demetrius Johnson, winning that second fight against Henry Cejudo. You should not be going life and death with Henry Cejudo. Ilia Topuria does not go life and death for Henry Cejudo. He just KOs him. He just knocks him out. Point blank, period. Size for size, make him a little better. He gets flatlined out fucking cold. All his takedowns defended. He's not having to scramble for his fucking life, defend every takedown from Henry Cejudo just to barely arguably win, bro. It's just not happening. Moving on before this video gets too long. Khabib Nurmagomedov. Khabib, we gotta have a conversation, brother. We gotta sit down and have a conversation. You can do a lot of shit. Oh, they got a bunch of title defenses. Oh, they beat third generation of fighter. This, that, and the third. You cannot say that was Khabib. Khabib won the belt off Al Iaquinta. I did not put that brother on the podium for a reason. He went to a decision with Al Iaquinta. Don't get me wrong, he has some elite wins, but he has only 3 elite wins. Charles Olivera beat 2 out of them. At their best, he knocked them all. He knocked out Gates, he choked him out. Choked out Poirier, easy. Now, did he do it impressively, Khabib? No. But nonetheless, he still is better than both of those wins. Alexander Volkanovski is better than all his wins combined. Max Holloway did the same thing to Gaethje. He was about to do the same thing to Poirier. And I guarantee if you put Conor McGregor in there, same things happens there. I didn't even know who to put for the 4th one. I'm like, do I put Michael Johnson? Do I look at y'all dead in the eye and be like, one of the 4 best wins of someone's career is Michael Johnson? I put Edson Barbosa up there because at least he has some aura. At least he has some highlights. At least it's kind of cool that he beat him. Habib fucking ate a spinning heel kick, fair play. But it's just not the same level. Habib didn't fight any grapplers. Say what you want. Ilia Topuria, you can say that he's not fighting grapplers. That's not necessarily noticeable. He's fighting the most elite strikers of all time. You cannot name 5 more technical strikers than Max Holloway and Volkanovski. You can't. It's not possible. They're both top 5 strikers of all time in the sport, point blank, period. If you go skill for skill, they might be top 3. Maybe you could say like Peter Yan. Maybe you can say, you know, other guys. There's like almost no one that can come to head. I think skill for skill is better than Khabib. Never fought another wrestler. He didn't fight even like a Charles Olivera, who's not a great wrestler but still can pose offensive threats. Charles Olivera got his guard passed by Ilia in 2 seconds, no problem. Literally about to get Kimura'd. I like Khabib, and in terms of dominance, yes, Khabib never got like he never really got cut or anything. He didn't get dropped like Ilia did. But at the same time, Khabib never like went up and fought like a Leon Edwards. He never went up and fought like great fighters. Ilia is going up divisions. He beat 45, got 2 belts. He's already above Khabib. He's a person here. I would say, hot take here, if I'm just gonna like free ball, maybe not, you know, maybe just pointing out there without laying on my career. I think Ilia is, out of all these guys, he's only worse than Jones and GSP. Take out PEDs, he's top 2 in this right now. Now, in my opinion, I would put other people on this list. I may try and make a top 10 later, but I kind of want that to be a very well-structured video. Kind of want to take it seriously. But I think guys like Islam have surpassed him. I think Merab already has better wins. I think Daniel Cormier. I think there's a lot of people that you can, you know, put up here and change. But I want to use these top 5 because of what people love to do. It's literally like the Tupac, Biggie, Nas, Jay-Z of MMA that people just throw it on there. Never listen to fucking anything. Never give a fuck about them. But it's like, bro, Anderson Silva's top 3, bro. Bro, Anderson Silva, he beat Forrest Griffin. Bro, he's in the Matrix, bro. He was in the Matrix. Anyway, coming to the end of this video, let me know what you guys think. In my opinion, Ilia Topuria is better than all of these guys. Better wins. Skill for skill, I think he's better than all these people. I think you can argue things for Jones and GSP in terms of longevity, in terms of consistency, in terms of, you know, generations, you know, maybe not talent-wise they have the best, but at the end of the day, you know, there's other factors included into it. I'll try and go into a video later. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Nonetheless, have a good one.